After the heartfelt revelations in his recent Spur interview, fans thought they had seen the most emotional side of Jin BTS. But it turns out there was one more story that no one expected. Just days after the interview aired, an insider close to Jin's circle shared that the singer had quietly returned home to visit his family, away from the cameras and flashing lights. There was no press release, no airport alert, and no official photos. He simply went home, as Kim Seokjin, not BTS's global superstar. For those who know Jin's personality, this wasn't surprising. He has always valued authenticity over attention. But what happened during that quiet visit reportedly left everyone, including his family, deeply moved. According to local reports, Jin arrived at his parents' house late in the evening, dressed simply in a beige hoodie and jeans. His older brother, Kim Seokjin, was the first to greet him at the door. There were no extravagant gestures, just a long, silent hug, one that seemed to carry years of gratitude and unspoken emotion. He didn't even bring any staff with him, a neighbor shared. He just came alone, carrying a small bag and a bouquet of flowers for his mother. Inside, the atmosphere was said to be warm and nostalgic. His father, whom Jin once described as a quiet man who shows love through actions, had prepared one of Jin's favorite childhood meals, grilled fish and kimchi stew, the same dish that often appears in Jin's memories. The singer reportedly laughed as he sat at the family table, joking that it felt strange not to have cameras or microphones around. But then, as the evening grew quieter, he began to share what had been weighing on his heart since the Spur interview. "After talking about you all publicly," Jin told his family, "I realized how much of who I am came from here, from this home, from your love." His mother, according to the source, became emotional at those words. "We never needed to hear that, Jin. We've always known." A glimpse of the real Jin. Fans later learned that Jin's quiet family reunion had been captured only in a few candid photos, not for publication, but as personal keepsakes. One image reportedly showed Jin sitting in the living room, his head resting gently on his mother's shoulder, while his brother snapped a picture from across the room. Another photo showed his father pouring him tea, while Jin smiled faintly, eyes tired but peaceful, a rare glimpse of him away from the dazzling lights of the stage. When a journalist from Dispatch reached out to BigHit for comment, the label declined to elaborate, only saying, "Jin spent private time with his family. We ask for understanding that it was a personal visit." Yet, even without official confirmation, fans didn't need photos to imagine it. Across social media, ARMY began sharing messages of warmth, describing how deeply Jin's family-centered values had touched them. One fan wrote, "He's not just the worldwide handsome, he's the worldwide heart." The power of going home. In a culture where fame often demands distance, Jin's decision to quietly visit his family showed a kind of courage that goes beyond celebrity, the courage to be human. His trip home reportedly included small but meaningful gestures, helping his mother with dishes, teasing his brother about his cooking, and spending hours looking through old photo albums. He laughed seeing his middle school photos, his brother said in a recent vlog. "I said, I looked like I had no idea where life was going, but maybe that's the beauty of it." It's moments like this that reveal why Jin has remained one of the most beloved figures in K-pop. His ability to balance superstardom with sincerity, to stay humble while standing at the top, continues to resonate with millions. In one touching moment, Jin reportedly stepped out to the family's small backyard, where an old plum tree still stood. It was the same tree his mother had planted when he was a child. Jin stood there quietly for a few minutes, then took a photo of it, the only one he later shared on his private chat with friends. The caption, according to insiders, was simple: "Still standing, just like us." Family as his foundation. In interviews and variety shows, Jin is often the one who brings laughter, easing tension with humor and warmth. But behind that charm lies a deep emotional intelligence shaped by years of strong family bonds. Fans who watched his Spur interview now understand that his grounded nature doesn't come from discipline alone, it comes from love. His father's quiet example of patience, his mother's intuitive care, and his brother's silent support all became the pillars that shaped his identity. He once said in a fan meeting that his family never treated him differently after debut. Now we understand why that mattered so much to him. Even now, Jin reportedly keeps a small framed photo of his family on his desk, next to a handwritten note from his mother that reads, "You're always our Jin, not the world's Jin." Fans' emotional reactions. As news of his visit spread, ARMY communities across platforms like Weverse and X, formerly Twitter, were filled with heartfelt messages. "The more I learn about Jin, the more I realize he's the definition of grace," wrote one fan. "He's proof that kindness and strength can exist in the same person." Others shared how his story reminded them of their own families, sparking emotional discussions about gratitude, forgiveness, and love. One post read, "When Jin's brother waited for him for 5 hours, that wasn't just about family. It was about faith, believing in someone even when they've lost faith in themselves." The hashtag Jin Homecoming began trending worldwide, with fans sharing fan art, letters, and even personal stories inspired by his journey. A lesson beyond stardom. In an industry where perfection is often the goal, Jin continues to teach the world that authenticity is what truly endures. His openness about vulnerability and his deep respect for family values remind people that success isn't just measured by fame, it's also measured by how much love you give and receive. As one fan beautifully wrote, "Jin reminds us that the real stage isn't in front of thousands of fans, it's the one in our hearts, where love performs quietly." Whether it's through music, interviews, or private moments that accidentally touch the world, Jin's story keeps evolving, not as a tale of celebrity, but of human connection. The next chapter. Rumors suggest that Jin might include more personal reflections about his family in his next solo project or a potential documentary after BTS's full reunion. Sources close to BigHit have hinted that he's been writing extensively during his quieter months, not just lyrics, but personal essays about his journey from a shy boy in Gwacheon to a global artist. Whatever he chooses to share next, one thing is clear. Jin's strength doesn't come from fame, but from the love that shaped him long before the world knew his name. As he once said during a concert, standing beneath the soft glow of stage lights, "No matter how far I go, I'll always be someone's son." And maybe that's why Jin's story continues to move millions, because behind the superstar the world adores is simply a son who never stopped coming home.